Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Listen very carefully to this quote from President Bill Clinton of 26 years ago regarding our Second Amendment. And I quote, "If the personal freedoms guaranteed by the Constitution inhibit the government's ability to govern the people, we should look to limit those guarantees." Scary. Here comes Kate Smith and God Bless America, followed by a Patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Come on, call in. Want to hear from you. And a good morning to you and yours as we sit in the studio high above the basement. Zeb at the Ranch, I'm Zeb Bell, of course, with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you with the best of tires for your vehicles. And don't forget, too, some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, let's go to the phone line and have our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Well, good morning, sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, buddy. And right now it's time for the weather forecast brought to you by K&R Rental at 256 South, 600 west of Hayburn. Right there, easy to see on the Burley-Paul Highway. They've got all the best of tools and equipment for you to finish any and all your construction projects. Anything you need done, they've got all the tractors and the mowers and the excavators. They've got it all. And excellent rates for you. So don't forget, give them a call, 678-3122, K&R Rental. And right now, here's the weather.
Here's a look at your weather as we do hit midweek, and we're going to see some clouds in the area, maybe some thunderstorms by this afternoon. Partly sunny skies is what we're expecting for today. High of 91, winds out of the west right around 5 miles an hour. Tonight we do have a 20% chance of isolated storm showers, thunderstorms, mostly cloudy skies, low of 62. That could continue for tomorrow with a high of 88, partly cloudy for tomorrow night with a low of 58. By Friday, mostly sunny skies, high of 90, 92 for Saturday, and looks like mid-90s for Sunday. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina. I appreciate it. And brought to you by K&R Rental. Roger and the crew are out there to serve you with the best of tools and equipment, both long and short-term rental. All you got to do is give them a call or stop in at 678-3122. K&R Rental on the Burley-Paul Highway. You get a hold of them today. Wow, we've got a lot to cover this morning, and I'm hoping that one of my guests, Dave Bego, will be on at 9:06. We haven't been able to reach him yet, and Deanna is still trying to verify that time slot. And then we've got Horace Cooper with the National Center for Policy Research. We've got Josh Anderson with the Old Fishing Hole, and we've got Cache County School Superintendent James Shank coming on to talk about the maintenance dilemma that they have. And we're going to talk about all those things this morning. Don't forget Ramsey Heating and Electric At 2600, I had to swallow. 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. The number to call, 678-0459. Literally all your heating, cooling, and electrical needs from a company that has been there devoted to serving you for over 6 decades, and it goes on. Professional service to you at Ramsey Heating and Electric. And they're open 7:30 to 5, Monday through Friday. As I said, providing warm winters and cool summers, the best. Ramsey Heating and Electric. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Zebediah, I got a complaint about another sport. Did you see the fiasco on the baseball game yesterday?
Well, Bob, I mean, there's a whole bunch of Major League Baseball games going on. Which one are you talking about?
Well, I had a big fight.
Okay, that was Cincinnati and Pittsburgh.
Yeah. And anyway, this pitcher comes off of the mound, and he's going to win. He's going to beat all the Cincinnati Reds. I can't believe these people fighting and doing the things that they do in baseball.
Well, let's get the story straight, though. It was a Cincinnati pitcher that went over to the bench of the Pittsburgh Pirates. It wasn't the other way around.
Okay.
And as far as my...
keep doing this.
Well, okay, but wait a minute, Bob. Come on, be fair. You've been around the horn a couple of times. I have too. It's nothing new to have a brouhaha at a baseball game, especially in the major leagues. And, I'm just going to say this, and I'll take some heat for it. You can criticize me. Every now and then, things happen in a baseball game with brushback pitches and maybe slap tags that end up breaking people's noses and everything. It draws a little bit of a temper, and sometimes, as the old adage goes, boys will be boys, and that happens. Nothing new. There's been 10 times worse brawls than what we saw last night.
Well, I'm sure of that, Zeb, but I just don't understand why baseball can't do something about like when a pitcher throws at a batter's head. They don't do anything about it.
Well, wait a minute. That's different when you're talking about throwing at a batter's head. That's absolutely... Excuse me, Bob. Hold on. Had these allergies and I can't get rid of them. When you throw at somebody's head, you're trying to hurt them, cripple them, or maybe even possibly kill them. But when you throw somebody and hit them in the ribs, hit them in the leg, whatever, as maybe a retaliatory type thing that happened to one of your teammates, that's all part of baseball, man, and I think it's got too wussified.
Well, okay, I just don't understand some of these things.
Well, the thing is, Bob, you know as well as I do that the league is going to look at that. They're going to surmise who did what did happen, and who's at fault. And there's going to be repercussions and ramifications against it, and people are going to pay some healthy fines and some suspensions. You know that. But all of this is saying that you want a true blue, no emotions, just play the game. That ain't going to happen, Bob.
I know that. I realize that. But the fine that they're going to level against him, $50,000, $100,000, that's not even a drop in the bucket to what they're getting paid.
Well, you've got your opinion on this. I've got mine. I'm not saying that the fight is warranted. I never say that a fight is warranted. But you don't know what precipitated the fight. You don't know all the facts and particulars until they come out. But I will say, and I'll go back to this, we don't live in a vanilla world. Tempers flare. They flare at the office. They flare on the baseball field. They flare in life, in politics. And sometimes it's better to let the doggone pot, instead of steaming, take it off and let it rip.
You're right. I'll agree with you on all that you said, but I still have a hard time understanding. Have a good day, Zeb, and good luck to you.
All right, Bob. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Denny's Restaurant. Oh, I tell you what, good food. 611 North Overland and Burley and 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. Absolutely delicious. delicious food for you, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, anytime, all the time. Served by really nice people that care. They really care about you coming on in and enjoying your meal. We've had our lunch bunch over there for a long time. They are the best at what they do because they're America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley. You stop in with your friends and family today. Caller, I'll be right there. Don't go away. I want to also remind everybody about Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. You know, the thing that is so unique and I think really a personality plus for Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, the people. They have got excellent, excellent people serving you to help you with all your aching and paining. And they want you to get back to being you. They're located at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. And the number to call for an appointment, 678-1191. The best underneath the guidance of Nick Greenwell, Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. Call them today. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. California once again has stepped on their other foot, I guess. Newsom, the governor, the new rule is going to be that you have to have your tax returns before you can get on the ballot in California.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard that yet?
Yeah, I mean, I am so sick and tired of rewriting rules and changing things, the change of thought to suffice certain people's needs and wants to eliminate a possible person on the election ballot. Keith, I'm telling you, I am so fed up with the Democrats. So fed up. Actually, I'm fed up with all of them, Democrats and Republicans. They're acting like a bunch of spoiled children. And we were just talking about a baseball fight between Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Actually, I'd like to see a real all-in-all out brawl between the Republicans and the Democrats. Clean house, bloody some nose, black some eyes, and get somebody to do something.
Well, we got to put some of them in training first because they're kind of wussy.
Kind of?
Well, I'm being kind.
Don't be.
Okay. The other thing that I wanted to just mention is about CNN. Those greedy pot lickers are not letting anybody watch this debate at all. How do they expect to get the ratings up if they don't let people watch?
Whoa. What do you mean they're not letting people watch it? I watched it last night.
You did?
Absolutely.
Well, I couldn't get it, but I don't have CNN.
Well, see, that's your reason. If it's on their network and you don't get that network, you can't blame that network.
No, when Fox was doing it, it was on C-SPAN. You know, you could see the whole thing.
Okay, but what I'm saying is I watched it. I watched it because I get it. And I'm not going to criticize the network and say that they don't want anybody to watch it. That's far from the truth and absolutely far from reality, because as going down the chute as CNN is in popularity, they need all the help they can get.
That's what I'm getting at. Why don't they let C-SPAN in there?
Well, I don't know the contractual agreements. I don't know, and you don't know the contractual agreements with C-SPAN or anybody else, and I'm not going to criticize, as much as I despise CNN, I'm not going to criticize them for the lack of on C-SPAN or anywhere else until I know all the parameters and particulars. All I'm saying is they've got their network, like Fox has theirs, ABC has theirs, CBS, and for me to criticize how and why other networks or other availabilities didn't pick it up, that's not for me to say.
Well, they're not reaching everybody, is what I'm saying. They're not even giving us an opportunity.
Yeah, well, there again, I can't control that. All I can tell you is that you really didn't miss anything, buddy.
Yes.
Hey, by the way, kudos to you for your wind whirligigs and Nancy for her cookies, of which there are not many left. Thank you very much.
You ate them already?
Let's talk about something else.
You would be classified as a pig.
Well, thanks a lot, buddy. Call again. I can't wait to hear from you. Have a great day. Thank you.
You bet.
All right, see you later. Thank you. Don't forget our friends at Ark Animal Hospital. Oh, Dr. Bill and the rest of the folks, I'm telling you what, they absolutely can help your animal's health. Now, it's a large and small animal clinic, meaning little bitty kitty cats, little puppy dogs, all the way up to big dairy cattle, etc. They absolutely want healthy animals for you. And if there's a problem, call them. Help get it taken care of immediately. Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street near Connection Credit Union in Hayburn. Number to call, and write this down, keep it, 678-1177. Again, 678-1177. Ark Animal Hospital. You better believe it, they have warm hearts for cold noses. And, wow, another big day at the Minidoka County Fair. Let's take a look here real quick and see what's going on today at the 71st Annual Minidoka County Fair, with the theme making tracks to the Minidoka County Fair. Today being Wednesday, oh boy, look out. Loosen the belt up a little bit. The Big Lions Barbecue at 5:30. It's going to be all you can eat. Look out. I hope some of my friends don't show up. And then, of course, they're going to have Ray Kilpack doing the music during the barbecue. And then after that, the Fair Board Social with cobbler and ice cream. Woo! It's going to be good. And don't forget also the Junior Rodeo starts tonight and Thursday, and the Wild West Open Rodeo on Friday and Saturday. All of this at your 71st Annual Minidoka County Fair. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Last night's debates, and this is something all of you need to be aware of. All of us should really concern ourselves with. What is going on politically to take over, replace, or discard what we have currently? It was an incredible display last night, and I got to admit, I didn't watch it in continuity. I watched excerpts and turned in occasionally to catch certain individuals that I even wanted to hear some of their remarks. But it was incredible how this lower tier of candidates of 10, and there will be 10 more tonight, including Biden and Kamala Harris and Booker, etc. They're so left attitudes. I said yesterday, and I will stand behind every single thing I say on this program. I said yesterday that Democrats represent an idiocy. I use that word. An idiocy that is un-American. And I stand behind that statement. There is a general consensus of changing and transitioning, and moral values, constitutional values, law values. There are so many things that are under siege and under attack by the Democrats that make my head spin in fear of what might transition this country into not only a lesser country, but a socialist country. Tonight is round 2, and Joe Biden probably, and most likely, will be under attack by the other 9 up at their little friendly podiums. Now, also yesterday, and by the way, you know, there are nicknames for a lot of people in politics and a lot of people in sports, etc. And I had a lady call me and criticize me for hanging a nickname on Beto O'Rourke. Well, first of all, he's hung himself, if you want to use that terminology, with his own nickname, Beto. That's not his real name. Far from it. And he goes by Beto O'Rourke. Well, I started calling him Gumby. Because remember the old Gumby, the little thing you played with and everything? You could bend it and make it a contortionist and make it arms backwards. Well, Gumby O'Rourke absolutely I think, made a fool out of himself last night. And he and Amy Klobuchar, I think, are memories. They're gone, or soon will be. But some of the things that O'Rourke said last night, we're going to burn up in 10 years, we're going to be gone. He was talking about climate change and waving his arms and spouting up, we're going to be burned up in 10 years. No, we're not. And I'm sick and tired of these non-scientific buffoons, which they are, spouting what's going to happen and trying to scare people and, oh, we got to follow them, man. We're all going to die. We're going to burn up. Get a bottle of water. My grandma would say, and she was really a realistic person that sat down and analyzed everything. My grandma would say, ay. There was a bunch of this last night, and it's probably going to get worse tonight. There was only one Democrat last night, in my opinion. I'd like to hear yours. Please call me, 436-2244, that showed some, here's two words to be applicable, hopefully, to the Democratic Party, common sense. That was John Delaney. I don't like the guy as far as his political views. Might be a great guy. We might get along very well. I don't know. But I don't like his viewpoints, as I don't the other Democrats that were up there railing for more time to answer questions. But he was the only one that made some common sense, especially against the likes of scary Elizabeth Warren, and she is, and wild-haired Bernie Sanders. Woo! So, what are your thoughts? Give me a call. For those of you that sat down with the intestinal fortitude of watching the debate and really coming up and conjuring up your own thoughts and ideas on that, please give me a call. I can't wait to hear from you. I want to talk to you about Jake and the crew over at Rain for Rent. Let me tell you something that we have been very, very proud to have them on our program for the last couple of months, and they do the job for you regarding your irrigation needs. Absolutely. You be sure and get a hold of them today. Rain for Rent, Jake Spalding and his entire staff, and they're located at 134 South, 600 West of Paul, and the number to call, 438-5065. Reinke Diamond Dealer, Platinum Plus Certified Pivot Techs, they know, dedicated sales and service staff serving you. Check it out today. Rain for Rent, 438-5065. Wonderful people serving your irrigation needs. Want to also mention to you that on Mondays we give away a dozen cookies to Sophie's Chatterbox at 530 East Street in Rupert. Don't forget, what a wonderful restaurant, wonderful bakery. Ooh, wow. I mean, they can bake anything over there, and it's delicious at Sophie's Chatterbox in Rupert. That's Mondays at 8:30. Don't forget that. All right, don't leave me alone. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I got to say this. I've got to tell you this. But, you know, we can complain and you can try to call, and you'll never get through to a live person at our wonderful, illustrious Times News newspaper in Twin Falls. But how can a newspaper be so sloppily put together and then expect the public to pay for it? Let me give you an example. When people say they're going to read the sports page, singular, it was really true this morning. The Times News had the front of the sports page and all the stories referring to their completion on B2. There was no B2. What happened to B2? No, it wasn't in the paper. My question is about the Times News, and I've complained about this for a long time. Do they not have anyone that can be or act as a proofreader? To check out the headlines, check out the spelling, check out Whatever happened to B2? There is no B2. They went from the front page of the sports page, the only one, to the classifieds. And somebody at the newspaper is going right now, oops. That's uncalled for when you pay a subscription to a newspaper and there's that kind of a mistake. Unbelievable. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. I can't believe it. I was reading all about this one story, and it said go to B2, and there is no B2. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
You know, Zeb, it's been going around for years and years that people had nicknames. And for you giving him that Gumby, it fits him real well. But you know, I've heard you do this before, and I approve of it because it's kind of humorous, because these people are really acting like what you say they remind you of.
Well, I'm not going to say anything that's going to be derogatory. I'm not going to say anything that's going to be in reference to their looks or their family or anything else, nor are, I think, anybody else in the media going to lower themselves to that standpoint. But by this lady calling me yesterday on the phone, which I appreciate her call, she had the nerve to call, which is good, and say, well, you call them names. Well, Gumby, and if you'll listen on every single newscast, there's going to be at one point or another, nothing derogatory, but kind of a nickname for certain people. What do they call Elizabeth Warren? They call her Pocahontas. What do they call some of the others? There's always Sleepy Joe Biden. The list goes on, but for some reason when I said Gumby about Beto O'Rourke, oh, the sky is falling.
Well, the thing that I admire about our President of the United States is the fact that you're not going to put it over on him without him coming back at you. And I think that's a good trait. And the Democrats are just pulling their hair out, trying to figure out how to keep him from doing that.
Oh, I agree.
And I say keep it up.
I agree. You know, in politics, there basically is no fine red line. And if anybody's crossed it, it's the Democrats for this year. Quite a few disgusting things. Keith, thank you for your call. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Calls welcome. Come on, let's get some folks on here right now and discuss what's going on in politics, what you saw or did not see or didn't want to see regarding the debates last night. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've never seen 20 of the most inept, desperate people which will do anything to get a headline or attention. And there's not a thing. I mean, like you said, I didn't watch it. I couldn't stomach even looking at them. I mean, I'm repulsed by the whole thing. They're all so phony. You said there was one that made a little sense. He won't make it.
No.
And but you see, it's insanity.
Yeah, but let me ask you something, Randy, wait a minute. You made a point a minute ago, and I think I'd like to pursue it a little bit. You said inept, and that leads me to ask you, boy, of those 10 people that were standing at those podiums last night that honestly consider themselves a shot at the presidency, whoa, show me and tell me what their leadership qualities are.
They have none, and their history is so sketchy. Some of them I don't know that well, and maybe they have a better history. But you see, they'll never get it with the Democratic voters, the socialist voters. They're not going to trying to get the attention of the left.
Yeah.
It's something else.
And some of the things that were talked about last night, naturally, they were going to talk about the economy. Naturally, they're going to talk about Medicare. Naturally, they're going to talk about what I think is absolutely a waste of time, and that's climate change. But did you notice that the one thing that was not brought up, and it's almost like they had a team meeting before the debates, not once did they mention Mueller report and impeachment?
Well, I don't think impeachment is will help it at all. Nadler he's delusional. He's possessed. I don't know if it's just him or he's got somebody on him. I don't know. It's a waste of time. Now this is not really on the subject, but what Trump has done with Baltimore is the truth. Baltimore is a mess. And I know it's off the subject, but you see, when Donald Trump speaks, the world listens.
Yeah, and you know what? You just said something right there that is so true, because the Democrats are trying to cover it up, and they're trying to say that it was a racist statement and everything. No, it wasn't, and anybody that thinks that is a loon. What Donald Trump did is stir action. There was a black lady that was being interviewed, and I do not recall if it was on Fox or ABC or whatever yesterday, and she looked right at the camera, and I think much to the dismay of the interviewer, she said, "Thank God for President Trump, because he's helping clean this city up."
Well, I tell you what, Deb, I've never been to Baltimore, but I tell you what, from what I've seen, it's like every other democratically run city in any place. My daughter spent the weekend in Portland, and she was shocked how filthy and the homeless and what a mess it is. Well, I tell you what, like I said yesterday, we're not careful. I know it's preliminary, but Twin Falls and Boise will become a mess.
You've got it. I've got another call waiting, but I always appreciate your perspective. Thank you, Randy. God bless you, man. Thanks. Caller, don't you dare go away. Do not pass go. Don't collect $200. I'll be right with you. Want to remind everybody at Barry Equipment and Rental Sales, Service, and Parts, and 3 locations to serve you. 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. They got a big sandbox out behind, and if you're not sure how to run the equipment, they'll take you out there and let you learn, by golly. And, of course, 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin, and the Nampa location. For all the lifting, digging, pushing, and carrying, and the equipment you need, the Doosan loaders and excavators and all the Bobcats, hey, you better get a hold of them today. They are the best at what they do. Barry Equipment and Rental, Burley, Twin Falls, and Nampa. And real quick, caller, I'm not trying to push you off. I just got to get this in here. Old Zeb's a little short on time. Don't forget Greystone Crossing. I'll tell you, this is just what they wanted it to be, a big home where residents would feel part of a family unit. And I think Matt and Kelly Wiggins have hit the ball out of the park doing just that. It's a beautiful, beautiful senior living center, Greystone Crossing Independent Senior Living on El Fresco Road. That's 21st Street for you folks. And it's over in Hayburn, just a mile east of Walmart. 3 meals a day, plus snacks, housekeeping, local transportation, all included in the rent. You had better call, seniors, and check it out. Set up an appointment at 650-4979, 650-4979, Greystone Crossing Independent Senior Living. Caller, thank you. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. The menu for the Burley Senior Center on South Overland for today is roast beef, mashed potatoes and gravy, green beans, salad, and I think we'll have a yummy dessert, banana bread.
Banana bread, okay. Joe, what's your favorite kind of bread? Is it banana bread? Is it rhubarb bread? Is it...
I'll take rhubarb, but we've never had any, but that sounds awful good this morning.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell Deanne that, and she makes rhubarb bread on occasion. I'm going to have her make you a loaf, okay?
That sounds tremendous.
All right.
Anybody that wants one to go, just call in before 12. We serve from 12 to 1. It's only $5.
All right. We'll send everybody there. And
better meal than this one at the Burley
right, my friend. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
All right, sir. Thank you very, very much. Calls welcome. Oh, yes, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I always try to be straightforward and honest on this program, and if someone or some group is offended by my honesty, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to change. The gay mayor, Pete Buttigieg, last night up at the podium, criticized, in his words, so-called Christian senators that are against the $15 minimum wage. When I heard that, right off the bat, I was mad, really mad at Buttigieg. I'm going to tell you why. Buttigieg, as a gay man that is married to another man, is absolutely such a hypocrite because he's criticizing other people and saying they're not Christian because they don't believe in the $15 minimum wage. I don't believe in it, and I think that has nothing to do with my Christianity and my faith, and I'm sick and tired of someone like him that absolutely is leading a lifestyle that is far from being Christian. I don't need him running down Christians. Pete Buttigieg is a phony. Pete Buttigieg is a farce. Pete Buttigieg is a joke. And above all, he's using, underline the word using, Christianity as a shield for himself and his lifestyle, which is absolutely unchristian. I'll stand behind that. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call, please. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, while I'm waiting for your call, don't be, I hate to use this word, cowardly. Give me a call and talk to me about any and all of these subjects. And speaking of cowardly, I want you to know that we are still trying to get someone from Idaho Power to come on our program and discuss with us green energy and all the other items that have been in the news, cloud seeding, etc. As ratepayers, you and I need to know what kind of costs and perhaps hardships may be incurred by green power, and we need to do some research and just see how wonderful these concepts have worked in Europe, especially in Germany and Spain. They have not. Hiding from answers or picking certain media to promote your cause, knowing that they'll lob softball questions at Idaho Power, is nothing more than cowardly and somewhat sinister. And I will complete every day, somehow on this program, my evaluation of how Idaho Power is shirking their duty in serving the public. By the way, it is fair season, and I want you to be aware that all the fairs are going to be starting to advertise, and we're going to have them all on this program. And the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo, August 10th through the 17th, and they're telling everybody that their big concert is going to be featuring Tracy Bird this year. There's a guy that I've worked with in the past. Great entertainer. You are going to love it. So get your tickets now. Call the fair office. I'm choking. Hold on. There you go. Call the fair office and find out more. You can visit their website at www.cashiacountyfair.com. Saturday, August 10th at 8 p.m., the big concert kicking off the fair for the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo. Tracy Bird. Get your concert tickets now. He does do a heck of a job. I'll tell you what, I enjoy him. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Please give me a call. I saw last night something on TV I'm going to talk about in just a minute with a new face involved in New York City politics. And this lady is sharp. Stand by. We'll get to that in just a moment, plus take some more of your calls. Right now it's time for the weather, and the weather brought to you by, excuse me, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Oh, they can really help you with your hearing health, and I urge you to get a hold of them today. They're located right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room, and the number to call, 312-0957. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, and they've got three wonderful, wonderful doctors of audiology, Christine Pickup, Courtney Mitchell, Shane Hunsaker. All of these folks absolutely committed to your hearing health. And right now, here's the weather.
Here's a look at your weather as we do hit midweek, and we're going to see some clouds in the area, maybe some thunderstorms by this afternoon. Partly sunny skies is what we're expecting for today. High of 91, winds out of the west right around 5 miles an hour. Tonight we do have a 20% chance of isolated storm showers, thunderstorms, mostly cloudy skies, low of 62. That could continue for tomorrow with a high of 88, partly cloudy for tomorrow night with a low of 58. By Friday, mostly sunny skies, high of 90, 92 for Saturday, and looks like mid-90s for Sunday. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zephyr Durant.
Thank you, Gina. And, of course, she always does a great job. Her and Scotty, I appreciate it. And let's not forget our sponsor, great, great people. And they absolutely say you can trust your hearing health to them, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Once again, that number to call for an appointment, I urge you to do so, for 312, I almost said the wrong number, 312-0957. Better say it again, 312-0957. I was watching television and the news and kind of scanning the dial, and all of a sudden there's an interview with a lady, a black lady by the name of Sherry Murray. Wow. Very articulate, very smart on issues. And guess who she is going to be running against? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in that respective district in New York City. Wow. Here is a lady that had literally her ducks in a row, understanding all the issues, talking about the issues, and so much more so than the hate-filled 29-year-old bartender that doesn't know Khmer from Sikkim, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Now, we'll see what happens in the political machine in New York. Is the left liberal political machine going to gobble up this lady, Sherry Murray, and get rid of her, or will she be able to latch on to some big important people and money to stage a real fight against Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and displace her? One can only hope. One can only hope. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Gee, I thought more people would call in and tell me their wonderful thoughts about the debates. And it continues tonight with Joe being right in the center. Poor old Joe. He might as well go to the store, buy a Target, and say, fire away, boys and girls, because they're going to nail him tonight, I got a feeling. Calls welcome, thanks. Let's see what else is in. Oh, this is no joke. This has got to stop. I don't care what has to be done. I don't care how much force has to be used, and it should be, to stop these assaults on our police officers. Now, some of you might say, well, that's back in New York City. Doesn't make any difference. If it's New York City, Chicago, St. Petersburg, Florida, San Francisco, it doesn't make any difference. Police officers are being ridiculed. Police officers are being lessened. Police officers are being assaulted and joked and spit on. It's got to stop. Another tape emerged that happened in New York City that show a punk, a worthless punk, going up and throwing water all over a policeman and basically spitting at him and calling him names. There's no respect. Now, I said the other day, and I stand behind this, that there has to be somewhat of a show of force. There has to be somewhat of a, you're not going to do this to me. You're not going to do this to the officers that are serving you in the city of New York. This is it. You're done. Toast. And whether it takes the force of a billy club or perhaps the taking down on the sidewalk and handcuffing and dragging those people off to jail, so be it. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, Zeb. I've often wondered what exactly is going through the minds of these people when they're assaulting a police officer. Why do they hate him? Why do they feel the animus they have towards them, and what's driving it? Because if it wasn't for the police, what little bit there is from over there that I understand compared to the population, there'd be a lot of trouble, a lot more crime, a lot more people getting killed, a lot more drugs, and a lot more just terrible.
I can't answer that question. Riley, I can't answer that question because I don't know. I wasn't raised that way. I don't know if it's a lack of parental or family guidance as these jerks are growing up. I don't know. But whatever possesses these people to go up and victimize police, and now it's water. Maybe the next day it might be cement bricks. You never know. But yet, at the same time, if something happens and a crime occurs, they're the first ones to say to 911, send the police immediately. We need help.
Exactly. They pick a fight with you, and want to get in a fist fight with you, and you knock them on their butt. They're the first ones to call the cops and file a harassment charge or assault charges.
Yeah.
It's just astonishing to me that the people that are there to protect them, they're beaten up on and just being a pain in the butt. I totally don't understand how those people think.
Riley, did you see any of the tapes, the videotapes of some of the assaults with these water buckets, etc.? Did you see the one where a guy in a red cap is standing about maybe 10, 15 feet away from an officer that is trying to handcuff a suspect, and he's being deluged with water, and this punk is standing 15 feet away and acting like he's Cassius Clay, dancing like he's in a boxing ring, like he did something really great by dousing a cop with water? How dumb and how disgusting can these people be?
I haven't even watched them. It makes me really upset, and I have enough things in my life that upset me. I don't need to have the outside force, something outside my life to do that. But it's really disgraceful. And are you kidding me? If you went toe-to-toe with a cop, he'd probably get his handed to him in a heartbeat.
One can only hope. Thank you, Riley.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
All right, buddy. Thank you very much. Yeah, I thought that one videotape of this guy, and if you see the film, he's already thrown water at the cop, and he thinks he's just Joe Bravo. Oh my goodness, I just threw water on a cop. Look at me, I'm tough. And he's standing about maybe 10, 15 feet away, and the police officer's diligently trying to handcuff the suspect. I bit my tongue twice, and it's sore. Suspect over the hood of the car, and this brain-dead creep is standing off there acting like he's in a boxing ring, taking his arms and going like Cassius Clay and dancing back and forth, and I thought, you punk. What kind of bravado does it take to go up and throw water on someone and then dance like you're in a boxing ring? Wow. What did you do today, Herman? Well, I threw water on a cop. Look at me. I'm 10 foot tall and bulletproof. And they're proud of that. Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you, and serving is the key word. They really, really care. And along with all the tires and the best of brake service and front-end alignments and shocks and struts, batteries. Don't forget they offer a free pre-trip safety check. There, I said it fast, never wavered. They'll check the pressure of your tires, wheel alignment for tire wear, front-end components, shocks and struts. They'll check the battery with a load test, brake components. They want you to leave on your road trip and come back safely. Absolutely. Check out all the great tire buys, all the service at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Trent on Overland in Burley. The best, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. We're going to get out of here for about 7 minutes and come back at about 9:06. We'll look forward to it. Thank you for all of your calls and your viewpoints this morning. Keep it up. Enjoy hearing from you. We'll go to the news right now from CBS. Oh, yes. I'll tell you what, good morning on a Wednesday, the last day of July 31st. Woo! Where did the summer go? Please, somebody show me the route it took, because, man, I lost some of it. Welcome back to Zeb at the Ranch, of course, with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you with the best of safe tires for your driving, regardless of what the vehicle is. Stop in and see them today. Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. And, of course, some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, without further ado, let's have this good word for Western Waste.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Waste Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal. Western Waste Services.
Absolutely, they care. They want you to get rid of your garbage, and they know how. All you have to do is call them at 734-6969. New to the area? Don't know what to do? Call them. Get on the route service. Once a week, they drive up with that big truck. Boom, it's gone. Wave goodbye to your garbage. The very best people serving you, always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, 734-6969. Want to also tell everybody about our dear friends over at Hanson Mortuary. Hello, Joel Heward and the staff and the family. They really take care of you and your family, absolutely providing the families they serve with the best possible support and comfort. And when there's the passing of a loved one, they always are upholding the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. I urge you to write the number down, 436-5636. That number again, 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert. And Joel Heward also serving you and your family at Morrison Payne Funeral Home on East Main in Burley. Wheels, I've got a question for you, old buddy, old pal. Have you had any success in getting hold of Mr. Bigo?
I haven't. I've already tried to call him the last few times, and it's just went to his voicemail.
We have had the same dilemma, and I'm not a happy camper, so I appreciate your diligence, and if you wouldn't mind trying a little bit further, I'd appreciate it, okay?
Of course, sir.
All right, buddy, thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Sounds to me like we may have a little problem with our guest that is supposed to be on for this half hour. But that leads me up to asking you a question, and I'd really appreciate an answer on this. So, all of you, 436-5, no, Zeb, you're giving the wrong number. 436-2244, 1-800. I did it again. I'm always wanting to say 800 instead of 866. I do not know why. But 1-866-927-4587. Okay, those are the two numbers. Finally, I got them spit out. But I'd like to ask you this, audience, and please don't just sit there by the phone, call me. Would you, here's the question, we're going to take a little poll. Would you vote for any of the Democrats that are running on the Democratic ticket right now for president, 20 of them, over Donald Trump? Who and why? I'd really be interested in knowing this. Would you vote for any of the Democrats that are running for president over Donald Trump? Who and why or why not? Give me a call. I'd like to hear your opinion on that, please. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Come on, quickly. Would you vote right now today, for any of the Democrats over President Donald Trump? Who would you vote for, and why or why not? Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, Zeb. There isn't anybody on the Democratic ticket I would take seriously as any kind of candidate for even dog catcher. Reason is they don't have any common sense. They bring nothing to the table that makes sense, that has any strategy. They're a joke, kind of, more or less, to me.
All right, so you do not see anything or anybody or any issue or anything that would make you not vote for Donald Trump.
That's correct.
All right, Riley. I've got you down, and I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. God bless you. Thanks. There's the first one to break the ice, and I appreciate it. He said no, there's no one that he sees on the Democratic ticket that's a wannabe that would make him want to not vote for President Trump. What are your thoughts? Here's the survey question. I want to just see what your thoughts are. Would you vote for any of the Democrats that are running over Donald Trump? Who and why or why not? That's a pretty easy question. And my audience is always very well informed, and I appreciate your calls and I appreciate your comments. But I'd just be interested, is there anything that's going to behoove you to sit there and go, well, I don't know about old Donald. I don't like this and I don't like that. Well, really, what are those issues that you don't like? And if you're having second thoughts about President Trump on a re-election, who would you pick? And why? Please give me a call at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I had the numbers right that time. There. I want to remind you, too, about the Minidoka County Fair and Rodeo. It is going on as we speak. Absolutely, and some great people that want you to stop over and enjoy the Minidoka County Fair and Rodeo. Magic Valley Carpet at 613 D Street in Rupert. Oh, they're just off the square, just a little bit. And they've got all your flooring, carpet, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, tile, everything. 35 years of experience serving you, Magic Valley Carpet. And then also Scows. Boy, these are good people serving the Mini-Cache area for 70 years in Burley and Rupert. The only locally owned and operated auto parts store in the Mini-Cache area, and their customers leave satisfied, let me tell you. Scows at 323 East 8th Street in Rupert. You stop in and see them today, and they wish you to come on over and enjoy the Minidoka County Fair and Rodeo. Come on, folks. Honestly, dial the number. It's real easy. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I can't believe the last couple of days it's been like pulling teeth that don't need to be pulled to try to get some people to respond on this. And normally we get a whole slug of phone calls. So come on, don't let me down. Would you vote? Would you vote for any of the Democrats that you saw on stage last night or tonight on stage over Donald Trump? Who would you vote for and why? Of the ones that were on the stage last night, I think you can rest assured some of whom will not be there at the next debate. Let's see what this caller has to say. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, I definitely would not vote for any one of those, period. And if something happened to Donald Trump, I can't think of any Republicans that I would want to vote for.
Oh, I can, and I'll throw this name out because of the fact that I think he's very knowledgeable, very, let's say, professional and subdued in not taking away any of the limelight. And I would think that Mike Pence would be excellent.
I would consider him, yes, if he was running. I would consider him, but he is too kind. He's too kind for that job. You got to be tough. And President Trump has proven that.
Yeah, but, we're being unfair to Mike Pence as the vice president because he hasn't had to step into a position to where he has had to exercise being tough. I mean, the vice president doesn't get any of the fanfare or the criticism from the news media, et cetera, because they're really not policy makers. But we'll see what happens. Keith, I've got your vote down. Thank you. I got another call.
I think I'd make that choice right now with the knowledge that I have.
All right, sir.
But never would I vote for any of those clowns that are running for the Democratic ticket.
There you go, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate your call. Caller number 2, you're on the air. Who would you vote for over Donald Trump if there was an issue that you didn't like Trump doing or being a part of? What would it be? I need you to speak up a whole bunch because we can barely hear you.
She hung up, sir.
Oh.
Connection.
Well, gosh, golly, gee whiz, call me back, please, if you would. Would you vote for any of the Democrats over Donald Trump? Who would it be and why? Now, last night we saw Marianne Williamson. Wow, she's a little spooky. Love will make the world better, she says. Okay. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
I would definitely vote for Donald Trump. The Democrats show me nothing collectively. They're a bunch of Me Too's, and everything they propose is a total disaster.
Wow, you seem like you are very, very etched in your thinking that there's not one single Democrat that could do the job of leadership. What makes you feel that way?
Well, Medicare for all, they throw it out there, and they're all just following along like a bunch of dumb little tin soldiers. I don't like any of them. Didn't like Biden when he was a vice president. They even had to create new words for him. Bidenisms. Mm-hmm. I mean, we really need him to run this country, don't we?
When you say that there's not a Democrat out there, there's 20 people. I mean, we're talking running the gamut of 20 people that we're going to see like last night and again tonight that are vying for that nomination. And I haven't heard, and again, I'm not trying to be ridiculing them or criticizing them unneedfully, I haven't heard one of them. Not one of them say anything that's going to really be a benefit to the growth and prosper of the United States.
If anything, they're going to tear it down.
Yes.
And I don't know. I just don't think they have anything there. And I listen to them, and I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like anything I see from the Democrats. And if this is the way the Democrat Party's going, we're in big trouble.
Let me ask you this, and a dear, dear friend of mine, and I want to share this with you and my audience, Dr. Gerard Lamero, a gentleman that has been absolutely phenomenal over the years on this program, has written many books. His health is absolutely not doing well right now, and I tried to call him the other day and visit with him about this, but all of his predictions about the Democrats and about their presidential nominees and the future of their party are coming true, and he stands behind that with the AOCs and the squad and others, they're going to lead the Democrats right into a pit.
Well, they're working really hard at it, and they all say, well, this is my platform, and they spew it, and it's the same thing they're the other one's saying.
You know, I appreciate your call. You're a very knowledgeable lady, and I can tell by the tone of your voice that I would not like to get in a verbal argument with you.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to vote on this.
No, God bless you. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day, please. Thank you.
You too.
What a sweet lady right there. And I'll tell you, some people that call, you know, their voices aren't as dynamic and they're not as forceful. And when she called, she knew what she was going to say. And she knew what she was going to talk about. I love that. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. I think we're going to see more Democrats switching over to the Republican Party because many of them have 401ks, they've got bank accounts, they've got money in stocks and bonds, and it would be foolish to vote a Democrat in. All we get would be everything in reverse motion. Everything that's been Donald Trump has brought forward would go backwards.
Yeah, but you didn't answer the question. You did not answer the question. Would you vote for any of the Democrats over Donald Trump, and who would it be and why or why not?
Oh, go ahead, Zeb. I lost you for a minute.
No, I said you didn't answer my question survey. Would you, in any way, shape, or form, vote for Democrats over Donald Trump? And if so, who would you vote for and why or why not?
Oh, I'd never vote for a Democrat. And I know Trump is going to get in for another 4 years, and there's no Democrat that I would ever vote for. Because everything, all the progress that was made is going to go backwards.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well stated. And a lot of people don't think about that. You have and you are, and I appreciate that, Tony. God bless you, man. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You bet. Call, please, at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Be honest. I mean, maybe you don't like Donald Trump for some reason. Maybe you don't like his past history. Maybe you don't like the way that he conducts politics. Maybe you don't like the way he sends his Twitters out, or his tweets, I should say. Or maybe you don't like his stance on certain issues. Would you vote for any of the Democrats that are running for that nomination over Donald Trump? Who would it be and why? I mean, come on. You've seen all these people on television. I mean, they seem to be crawling out of the woodwork. Some not very well known, like, of course, Montana Governor Steve Bullock or Marianne Williamson, the author. Whew. And some you won't see probably in the very near future because of polling and money for their campaigns. I think two of those will be Amy Klobuchar and also Mr. Gumby, Beto O'Rourke. I think there has been memories. There may be more. But of the policies, and this is really important, this is the United States of America. This is your country. This is your future and your family's future. Answer the question, please. Give me a call at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Would you vote for any of the Democrats that are running over Donald Trump? Who and why or why not? I made the comment in the first hour, and I'll stand behind my comments, as I said, that the only one that, to me, made any kind of common sense, and I certainly wouldn't vote for the man, but the only one that made any kind of common sense was Maryland Representative John Delaney. John Delaney said, and I quote, "We have a choice. We can go down the road that Senator Sanders and Senator Warren want to take us, which is with bad policies like Medicare for all, free everything, and impossible promises." He's the only one that had the guts on national television at a debate to say the obvious, that the implications of what some of these people want, the green energy programs, zero emissions, 100% green energy, get rid of the cars, get rid of the planes, go along the yellow brick road for that, and then Medicare for all, everything's free, and we're going to just absolutely tell all the students that they get free education, don't worry about your bills. It's not going to work. It's complete idiocy. I'll use that word because it is. And it's about high time that somebody on the Democratic Party had the backbone, spine, or literal guts to say to the others, it's impossible and it's not going to work. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. I only have to say that I watched that last night, and if I could have put my fist through the TV, I would have hit them all for all their nasty mouths. Besides, if you ask them a question, do you use toothpaste, red or blue? How do you get the lid off? They wouldn't know anything. They only tell you a bunch of nothing, and then they holler about everything. So you don't get any kind of an answer. They never give you any kind of a how it's going to work or how it isn't going to work or why they're using it.
May I interrupt you right there? Let me interrupt you right there. You made an excellent point, and I want you to go a little further on it. They are saying overall catchphrases and catch lines about this is going to be great, Medicare for all, etc., but they don't really get to the nuts and bolts and talking about the cancellation of programs that people have had with their own private insurers. They don't talk about losing the right to see your own doctor and have all of that taken care with a doctor that you know and trust. They don't talk about that. They don't talk about the cost. They don't talk about how much green energy is going to change and transition your life to the point where you might not even be able to live in a rural area. You are 100% right, lady. They don't really look into the issues.
No, and they don't give each other a chance to, okay, Zeb, what are you going to do? How would you get that toothpaste out? But, Norma, how do you get that toothpaste? They don't do that. They just keep squalling around. And you know why they don't like Trump, first of all? When he says something, when he used to write it down on a piece of paper, they changed it. And when he'd say something, they changed it. So now he does all of these Twitter, and they can't change it. And when they contradict him, he's got it black and white, that what he said and what they didn't say.
Yeah.
And it just, anyway, Zeb, I'm sorry. It just makes me upset with them, so I'm listening to you.
All right. Hey, God bless you, and you did that very articulately. Thank you very much. Nice lady right there. I'll tell you, the women in my audience, and I'm being really honest and sincere, they are sharp. They know the issues. And when you hear these blanket statements from Democrats and polling sources, etc., you'll hear them on like CNN and, these women, these housewives, they hate Donald Trump. There's a very good example as to how those kind of statements, painted with a broad brush, don't hold any water. They're not true. Of all the women and men that I talk to, and I talk to many, many every single day, I have yet to maybe find 1 or 2% of the people that I talk to that would even think about not voting for Donald Trump. Am I saying that the election's a shoo-in? Nope. Because I don't trust the Democrats. Am I saying that Donald Trump is going to win in a landslide? Nope, because I don't trust the system and I don't trust some of the changes and the, let's say, alternate sources of getting information to the public. I hope and pray that Donald Trump gets reelected. Right now, I want to remind you about Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Oh, my goodness sakes, they have everything you need for the comfortization and beautification of your home. That's not brag, that's a fact. I mean, they've got all your carpet and all your flooring, and they've got carpet at prices that are way low. I'm telling you, you better get in there and check it out. And they've got some new mattresses, 50% off, and they've got some recliners, 30 to 40% off. enough? What are you waiting for? I'd be gassing up the car and heading that way right now. Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley. All you got to do is stop in and see Jeff and the crew today at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, I also want to remind you about our friends at Let's Ride. Oh, my goodness sakes, get your motor running. Oh, yeah. I mean, head for the hills on the side-by-sides and and the four-wheelers, and head for the rivers and the streams with all the watercraft. They've got them all. They've got a showroom that is jam-packed with fun. Fun! 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 4. I urge you to stop over, and they've got a wonderful super service department to keep you running. Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, where the fun is sold. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. Don't go away. I also want to mention our dear friends over at Cameron and Siemens Insurance. Oh, yeah. Right there on the curve going into Rupert, 436-4424. Wonderful people that can help you with your life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits. And the thing about Cameron and Siemens Insurance, they are dedicated and very responsive to your needs. Just please call 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Caller, I'll give you a chance to get on right now, but I've only got a minute. Real fast. Go, please.
Well, I can say this in a minute. If we elect a Democratic leadership, all we better do is just empty our pockets and make sure that they have the number to get into our bank account. Because that's all they look for, is that they're going to spend, and not spend wisely.
Absolutely. Chris, I appreciate your call, as I always do. Thank you, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Nice lady right there. We're going to go to the phone line right now, and our next guest, I think, is ready and raring to go. He is a senior fellow at the National Center for Policy Research. He's going to explain to us what that is and what they do. Good morning, Horace Cooper. How are you?
Hey, it's great to be on the program today.
Well, I hope so, by golly. Tell us a little bit about your organization, the National Center for Policy Research. What do you do every day when you turn the key in the lock?
The National Center for Public Policy Research is a think tank, and we're based out of the Washington, D.C. area. We look at free market solutions. We look at to public policy questions of the day. We have interest in urban policy. We have interest in environmental policy. We have a very big initiative called the Free Enterprise Project, where we try to help remind corporate America that but for the benefits of the free enterprise system, they wouldn't have the achievement of the wealth accumulation that they've been able to undertake. And when they engage in anti-free market behavior and anti-American behavior, we call them out on the carpet on it. We are very active. We're interested in energy policy, a whole host of things that we think help people to remember that somebody is watching, somebody's paying attention, someone's thinking about the solutions that help keep the country running well.
You know, Horace, I commend you for your activities and what you're committed to, but I'm telling you, one simple question I've got is, how are we, you and I, your organization and all my listeners and every day on my program, how are we going to re-educate the American public and get them away from socialistic, controlling issues the Democrats want to take over and rule their life 24/7?
Well, you know, that's the irony. Today, 2019, we have a whole crop of Americans who know nothing about the failure of the strategy called socialism or communism or Marxism, but essentially a centralized bureaucratic government planning model. In the 1950s and 60s, countries all over the globe invested in this approach. And it took them nearly 30 years for them to realize how poorly this operated, how unable to feed and provide for their people, how unable to defend themselves because they had wasted all of their resources on the bureaucratic model, and they couldn't even provide the kinds of military equipment to provide for themselves. That was true in Europe. That was true in Africa. That was true in Asia. That was true in the Middle East. And now, after about 30 years of not having this, it's back again, and people still think, well, it just wasn't tried right. If we could just get the right bureaucracy, if we could just get the right central planning, if we could just get more of the money of the taxpayers of our countries, life would be so much grander. We've got a lot of work cut out, but it starts with reminding people this doesn't work. It's never worked anywhere it's been tried.
You know, you wrote an outstanding piece that I want to compliment you on. It's called "It's Time to Expand Oil Production in Alaska," and you're the author of this. You garnered all the facts and put it together, and I thought it was excellent. But here we're living in a time, right now, this minute, on this July 31st, where we have people that are committed to the idiocy of climate change and the retardation, if you will, of mankind going back and burning buffalo dung in a cave for their energy source. How are we going to combat these people that basically are a big part of the Democratic Party?
Yeah, see, this is a really good, your question is really great. A lot of the problems that we see are all part and parcel of the command economy approach. The idea that the planet is about to disappear. I watched the debate last night, and if any of your listeners did, I apologize in advance. I didn't have anything to do with it, but still, it's awful to hear the idea that 10 years from now, the planet as we know it will not exist. It's complete nonsense. If we had a mainstream media that was holding people accountable, they would call them out on this. It's completely untrue. But here's what is true. If you want to talk about poverty, if you want to talk about hunger, if you want to talk about sickness, just let the kinds of progress that free markets have been able to provide go away. This entire planet has benefited from the free market operational system, and petroleum extraction and utilization has been key to that. It's key for America, and it's key for the globe. I heard literally people say we got to get rid of the car in 10 years. Any car that uses gasoline, your house, it uses energy, whether that's natural gas or electricity. All of these kinds of petroleum-based energy sources make it possible for Americans to live their lives and also make it possible for people in distant parts of the world. We have people rushing to America to take advantage of the great opportunity that we have. Many of them do so illegally because of their desperation. If the progressives get their way, you think we've got an onslaught now? Just imagine what it would be like when there's no hope, no opportunity, no prospect anywhere else on the planet besides America.
You know, I got to tell you, Horace, that I was thinking this past weekend about how we're being duped, absolutely duped into accepting certain stupidity that the Democrats are offering up on a silver tray, global warming, getting away from fossil fuels, canceling out the family car pickup. And I got to thinking that here we are in 2019, and we hear everybody clamoring for more infrastructure, build better roads, build better bridges. It's going to take X amount of billions and billions of dollars. And I thought, why in the heck should we spend the money if these nincompoops are going to take our cars away from us?
Well, absolutely. In fact, how could we even do it? It takes equipment, it takes tractors, it takes trucks, it takes delivery, asphalt, and concrete. They don't just magically appear. The kinds of jobs that would be great for infrastructure for Americans are never going to be able to materialize. The truth is that the folks who pretend that they are concerned about the environment could, in fact, let the scientists, Let us understand what the risk factors are, and then they could incentivize the free market as a technique for people to respond. The command and control bureaucratic model based on falsehoods is just going to lead to the destruction of American household budgets. But as I said before, the rest of the world, when they fall for it, they actually end up with death and misery. It's bad for us. It's awful for the rest of the world.
Absolutely. Horace, we've got a caller with a question. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air. Quickly, please.
Well, I'll give you an example of insanity. The environmentalists want to breach 4 dams on the lower Snake River, and there is an actual seaport in Idaho. It runs up to Columbia, and it's Lewiston, Idaho. And they barge wheat, grain down the Columbia to the port of Portland to go out to sea. And if they breach these 4 dams, there's so much about it that we talk about. We ain't got time to get into it. But if they breach the 4 dams, 1 barge will equal the equivalent of 144 rail cars or 357 semi-trucks. And they want to breach the dams, but then they also want to take away our trucks. I tell you, these people will all end up dead. I'll hang up.
Respond to the caller, please, if you would, Horace.
That was a good question. It's a good example of the left hand not knowing what the far left hand is up to. On the one hand, they say we're going to eliminate the ability to move things by water in the name of the environment. On the other hand, they say we're going to eliminate all the tractor trailers and 18-wheelers on the roads in the name of the environment. You can't have it both ways. And what this means is real people pay the price. Those people in the trucking industry that have their jobs, those people that have materials that are distributed, they suffer. Those people that work on the water, work in the barge industry, in the river delivery industry, those people suffer. That means in the local communities, they suffer. There's absolutely no merit to the arguments that they're making when, in fact, if we can innovate, if we can tap into additional resources, what we can do is increase our efficiency. We can increase our ability to have more household budget left over rather than more month left over. That's a free market way to address concerns that people have that are factual, that are logical, not this top-down bureaucratic model that is so incoherent. What is realized is they just hate human beings. And if that's what's really going on, we need to tell those people we just don't want to hear from you.
You know, in your piece, it was directed primarily to drilling up in Alaska for more oil, of which it is plentiful up there, and it would be a very small, literally minuscule area of drilling that would provide much, much more oil for our independence and security. But yet, you know as well as I do, it's going to be an uphill battle with the environmentalists, etc., because for some reason we have kowtowed and given them this power. How are we going to overcome this?
Well, it's very difficult because people need to understand that if we are actually going to continue being bound by international events because of our poor strategy on energy extraction utilization, we end up in conflicts in the Middle East. We have to pay greater attention and resources to what happens with Russia, what happens with China. We have the power. We have the ability on our own, and if we push back against those environmentalists and say, look, if we could not have to spend $1 trillion+ on our own defense because we're so reliant on international, we could actually use that money to research. We could innovate. We could find solutions to some of the challenges. There are ways that we could clean our waterways. There are ways that we could clean our airways. But as long as we are stuck, we're in an independent state right now with energy production. But what we're not in is where we completely control our fate. We could, by tapping into UNWR, create 10% from that one source, 10% of all petroleum access for America, and we could probably get gasoline under $1.50 a gallon, and that means that when events happen, big international conflicts occur, we can choose whether we want to engage based on what benefits us, not based on a necessity to protect ourselves and our energy supply.
Horace, as you look over your shoulder as to what happened, why it happened, and who promoted it, why did the American public get duped in the first place about energy and going green and getting away from fossil fuels? Why did we let this thing grow like a cancer in our schools, our society, and can it be turned around?
Yeah, see, we American people, we love our communities, we love our country, we love the planet that we're on, and we listen attentively when someone says that there's going to be a concern. If we find out that there's a crime problem, if we find out that there's a pollution problem, Americans are concerned. And the left has used our natural love and our natural ability to be concerned as a tool. Plus, they've gone to our universities and many of our public school centers, and they have populated them with instructors to give us a one-sided perspective on things. I'm really glad that shows like yours are prepared to let that alternative voice, that truthful voice, come out and let people have some context. Wealthy people can do way more for their community, for their neighborhood, for their society, for their planet than impoverished people can. If the top-down, bureaucratic socialists get their way, we'll all just be broke. And guess what? The Soviet Union and even China have traditionally been the worst polluters on the planet. Their neighborhoods were the worst. If that's what we want, and that's why it's important for us to have context, if that's what we want, we listen to these progressives. I think we want something better for ourselves, for our family, and for our posterity.
Let me ask you, Horace, when you turn on the television every morning or you turn on the radio or pick up the newspaper, a good example of what I'm talking about or going to be talking about is right here in our own local newspaper. Everything is slanted and biased for a green energy program. We have been told that Idaho Power is going to tell us that in 20 plus years they're going to go 100% green energy. And when I called them and asked them to come on my program and discuss it, they hid under their desk like the cowards they are and won't answer questions. We've got to get over this somehow. Do we make these people accountable?
Oh, absolutely. We have to hold these individuals accountable. The truth is the left has been very effective, progressives have been very effective in scaring companies, in scaring communities, in scaring students into engaging in self-destructive behavior. If I found out that our professor or teachers or volunteers were telling children that it's a good idea to cut yourself, it's a good idea to starve yourself, I think we would all rise up and say, whoa, 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 what's going on? Well, essentially, some of these same voices are doing that with our business groups, with our students, with our colleges, with our high schools. That's why I said we have a free enterprise project at the National Center, and it emphasizes making sure that companies remember this is what got you here, and if you have challenges and you have circumstances, innovation and free markets are going to be the way out of it. But it helps to have shows like yours where people can actually hear an alternative voice.
You know, I certainly hope we can make some inroads. I certainly hope we can help change and get back to some kind of common sense in this country. But common sense with the Democratic Party doesn't seem to be prevalent, and every one of their possible nominees scares me. What are your thoughts?
Well, I watched that debate last night, and I kept hearing, one, that we're going to let as many people come to the country as possible based on their desire and not sanction them. Oh, yes, and we're also going to provide them with health care. in any incentive structure world, the more benefits you provide, the more attractive you make something, and the less sanctions you provide, the more likely people undertake an action. Whether that's crime, whether that's good grades, whether that's driving, whatever it is, this principle is a law that can't be gotten around. And yet I heard these people stand up and make these charges. What I think is, instead of, and that's the reason why I wanted to listen, instead of saying, they're going to talk crazy, I don't want to hear it, let's listen to what they're saying, because when they tell you exactly how bad that they would like to do, remove all of our vehicles. I'm not just talking about 18-wheelers and tractor-trailers. I'm actually talking about the household vehicle that you use today. In a free society, if you want an all-electric vehicle, you can have one. Very few Americans want to spend $90,000 so that they can have one. Very few Americans, when they buy a pickup truck or a car and they have to finance it for 72 months, get to go to the tax code and get a tax break just for the privilege of having their minivan, their SUV, or their pickup truck. Yet that's what we've done with people who are elites among us who want a $90,000 electric car. We've got to change so that we reward the smart behavior and we sanction the bad behavior. Now we are rewarding the bad behavior, and we're actually saying to mom and pop America, you're stupid, you're suckers, and we don't care about you. That needs to change.
I hope that you will come back to this program very, very soon. And we've been talking for the last 20 minutes to the senior fellow with the National Center for Public Policy Research, Horace Cooper. God bless you, man. Come back soon. I'll look forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it myself. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, sir. Excellent. Outspoken individual, and I appreciate that. Horace Cooper, and we will have him back in the near future. Thank you very much. A dear friend of mine, Matt Barntini, back on the East Coast, is the one that set up that interview. And Matt, if you're listening this morning, and sometimes you are, thank you for all your hard work. Appreciate it. Holy smokes, we got to get a weather forecast on here. Woo! Our weather brought to you by Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company, and they've been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years. Over 50 years of serving you, your family, and your business with the best of tax return preparation, tax planning, business consulting, financial statement preparation, retirement planning. Oh, the list goes on and on and on. These are wonderful people serving you with offices in Burley and Rupert. Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. And right now, here's the weather.
Here's a look at your weather as we do hit midweek, and we're going to see some clouds in the area, maybe some thunderstorms by this afternoon. Partly sunny skies is what we're expecting for today. High of 91, winds out of the west right around 5 miles an hour. Tonight we do have a 20% chance of isolated storm showers, thunderstorms, mostly cloudy skies, low of 62. That could continue for tomorrow with a high of 88, partly cloudy for tomorrow night with a low of 58. By Friday, mostly sunny skies, high of 90, 92 for Saturday, and looks like mid-90s for Sunday. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Range.
I appreciate it, Gina. Thank you very much. Work with the people that can help you and care about you, your family, and your business, and handle all your accounting needs. And that's, of course, Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. Over 50 years of excellence to you, and they're looking forward to working with you for 50 more. You get a hold of them today with offices in Burley and Rupert. Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. You know, normally on Thursdays we do the Starving to Death segment, but I am not going to be on the air tomorrow morning, and my wonderful, wonderful friend Sharon is going to be on the air, and I just wanted to take some of the burden off her, and I'm going to do the Starving to Death segment today, right now. If you're hungry and starving to death, I urge you to stop into the AC Drive-In. 601 East Main in Burley. Oh, oh boy, all the different flavored shakes, and they've got all the burgers, and they've got all the different French fries, tater tots, special sauce, everything the way you like it. My favorite, the famous Farmer Brown burger. You're going to love the AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley. Well, how about Taco Bandito? Ooh, I love the food. 2301 Overland in Burley. Great place to get together for your morning coffee, and then maybe have a new pork burrito with beans, pork, rice, sour cream, and cheese. Great. Or a breakfast burrito, scrambled eggs, bacon and sausage, cheese, onions, tomato sauce on a tortilla shell. Knock your Tony Llamas off delicious at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Burgers, etc. Not one, but two great locations. My goodness, 124 South Oneida in Rupert, 700 Overland in Burley. They've got the strawberry shakes. Can't have a summer without a strawberry shake. And corn dogs or burritos, only $1.39 after 3 p.m. Are you kidding me? You can't beat that. Great food and wonderful, wonderful people serving you at two locations of Burgers, etc. in Rupert and Burley. Last but not least, Steve-O's. 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. Food made the way you love it. Patios open, warm weather, great music on the weekends. Dine and enjoy the music. Oh, it's great. Enjoy the buffalo burgers or the cheesy broccoli spuds. Not with an R, it's with a U. Spuds. And all the menu items absolutely delicious. Great service. Every time you go into Steve-O's, you're going to love the environment and the food. Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. And those are some wonderful places to go if you're hungry and starving to death. I am. What have we got next hour? We're going to go fishing. Yep, we're going to go fishing, and I talked to Josh Anderson earlier this morning, and while we're on the air with him at 10:06, he's actually going to be fishing. He's going to tell us where he is and what he's fishing for, what kind of tackle to use. All of that sponsored by Sportsman's Warehouse at 1940 Bridgeview Boulevard in Twin Falls. Then at 10:30 this morning, we're going to be talking to Dr. James Shank with the Cassius County School System about the approval of privatized maintenance, and we're going to be talking to him about that and answering questions, so give us a call. Right now, the news next from CBS. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go into hour number 3 on this last day of July, the 31st, and of course the Minidoka County Fair in full swing. We'll be talking to Greg Walden about that a little bit later on this morning. Want to remind you we're brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you with the best and safest of tires. And don't forget to some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Want to remind you, too, about our friends over to Patterson's. Oh, my. Patterson's at 421 Main in Burley. Number to call, 678-6997. Once again, 678-6997. Curtis and Lorena, they are your electronics needs headquarters. That's not bragging. That's a fact. All the home theater systems and the video surveillance cameras and the car stereos and the speakers and the complete sound systems and televisions. If you're looking for a TV, they've got them. Samsung, Sony, Toshiba, LG TVs. I'm telling you, they really care, and they want to serve you. They're open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 6, and it's easy to find right there at 421 East Main in Burley, and that's, of course, Patterson's. Don't forget, stop in, see them today. Want to remind you also about our dear friends at Greystone Living. telling you, I'm getting quite a few calls regarding where it is and about the amenities and everything. Well, I'll tell you, Matt and Kelly Wiggins have put together an outstanding residence called Greystone Crossing Independent Senior Living on Alfresco Road. That's just a mile east of Walmart in Heyburn. My goodness, 3 great meals a day plus snacks and housekeeping and local transportation if you need to get to the doctor's office. Oh my goodness. It's really a community of friends. You need to call, make an appointment, and take a look at all the great facilities at Greystone Crossing Independent Senior Living. The number to call is 650-4979. I'll repeat it, 650-4979. Matt and Kelly Wiggins at Greystone Crossing Independent Senior Living. Right now, we're going to go to the phone line. This is one of my absolute favorite times of my program because this man is living the dream, and we're going to be talking to Sportsman's Warehouse, Josh Anderson, on the Old Fishin' Hole. Josh, good morning to you. How are you?
Doing good, Zeb. It's a beautiful day today.
It is, and I can't wait to ask you. Okay, where is Josh? Where is he fishing, and what's he fishing for?
We're just fishing for some trout here on the headwaters of, Magic Reservoir where the Big Wood dumps in.
Okay, and is it different, quite a bit different, to be fishing in those kinds of conditions and those kinds of waters? What does the angler need to know about what they need to do?
Well, you're just fishing more in the current than you are in the reservoir part of the waterway there, so it's just a little bit different. You can throw out a spinner and troll it kind of through the current. You can bounce a worm along the bottom, but it's kind of less stationary. You know, you can let the bait work itself instead of having to reel.
You know, Josh, let me ask you this question, and we had an email from a listener that wanted me to ask you this morning on the program. Under different conditions of fishing, and this fisherman said he was brand spanking new and just started fishing this year, people want to know how much weight to put on their line. We asked this question, I remember, a couple of months ago, but how do people know how much weight is either not enough or too much?
Probably my rule of thumb is always try to use the least amount of weight that you can get away with. And that being said, I mean, there could be a lot of different factors that go into trying to figure out how much weight you're going to add to your line to, you know, it could be for casting distance, but for me it's more of trying to get it to the closest part of the water, like at the bottom, without snagging up. So if I'm drifting along the river and I can touch bottom 2 or 3 times and it's not dragging, that's about where I want it. And if it's sitting there dragging the whole time, I might take a split shot off, and if I can't find bottom, I will add more weight. But wind, line diameter, and current can definitely affect how much weight that you have to add.
Another
12-pound test line takes twice as much weight as a 6-pound test line.
Okay.
So it's kind of one of those that it's all kind of by feel and experience.
Let me ask you this part of it then. If you get too much, and I underline that word too much weight on that line, and you've got a big current, and you're going to have kind of a bouncing on the bottom, does the angler feel like he's getting a bunch of false strikes?
Well, it's just going to hang up a lot more, and to make it look more natural, you're trying to drift it down through the current at the same speed as the water and all the other food's going.
Okay. And then the other part of his email was, as being a first-year fisherman, he said, I don't have a clue as to what lures to use or just stick an old night crawler on the hook. He says, I don't know. How do I find out what the fish like or what the conditions are going to merit using?
It's one of those just getting out there. A lot of times if fishing's good, there's usually other people that will, know about it, be around, and sometimes if you are polite and ask the right questions, other fishermen will let you in on what they're doing. I've definitely asked somebody what he's doing different than what I'm doing because I could tell from 100 yards away he was catching fish and I wasn't.
Okay.
Some guys are polite enough to, let you in on a little trick or what's been going on. All us fishermen were shown by somebody at one point or another to take some of the tactics that we've experienced that somebody else showed us and apply them to this different spot and just see if it works. And when it does work, it makes you kind of pleased inside that what worked over there works here too.
Okay. Then another email came in just this morning. I had mentioned yesterday that you were going to be on the air. And this is from a lady, and she said she's a relatively brand new fisher person, and said once you catch the fish, how long is it normally and safe-wise before you have to clean them before you take them home?
Really, if you can keep them on ice, a lot of times all I really do to my fish, because of the way I fillet them or the different types of fish, is I have a bucket that has ice in it, is what I usually end up having instead of a cooler personally, just because it's handy and it has a nice lid, and I don't like getting my coolers nasty. And I just put a bag of ice in there and break it up, and when I catch a fish, I gill it so that I bleed it out, and I just put it right on ice. And I usually have never let them stay in there longer than a day. I don't think I ever let them go overnight or anything like that. And sometime during that day, I pull them out of that iced bucket and I fillet them and clean them and take care of them.
Oh, I'll tell you what, and I would bet that you have numerous great recipes to fry up a great big batch of fish, and you could probably write a book.
So I definitely have cooked fish a bunch of different ways. We got some good cookbooks there at the Sportsman's Warehouse, too, also. So, if you ever have a question, grab one of our associates. We can show you where those books are and relay maybe some personal recipes if we have one.
Josh, tell us a little bit about, here we are, it's hard to believe it's already July the 31st. What about it? Are people saying, oh, well, it's too late this summer to get ready and go fishing? How would you respond to that?
Up at Stanley this last week, I took about 4 days, and we went backpacking to mountain lakes. We fished small streams. We even fished there at the Sawtooth Hatchery, and we caught fish everywhere. Some of them were more picky than others, but I'll tell you what, a worm in a split shot seemed to catch a lot of fish. But yeah, we went and seen the salmon at the Sawtooth Hatchery, and there was about 1,000 fish in the holding tanks there, so we got to see some big old salmon. And then there was a kid's pond there, and since we had a fishing pole handy, and when my son seen a guy catch a fish, it was kind of one of those that he had to fish too. So we sat there and he caught several fish right there at the kids' pond also. Went up to the Yankee Fork Dredge. They're catching fish in the Yankee Fork Dredge ponds. And the weather up there was in the 80-something degrees when it was over 90 down here. So it was a lot more enjoyable. But bring your sunscreen and probably a little bit of bug spray in the evenings and mornings.
That was another question that was phoned in by a gentleman named Chuck, and I know he's listening this morning. He said, hey, I don't know about the basics that you need when you go fishing, but he said, what should a person take with them every time, regardless of what they're going for? I mean, are there some standard things that they need to have from Sportsman's Warehouse?
I'd start with, sunscreen and bug spray or bug lotion is what we have. And there's a bunch of different ones. If you don't like using DEET, I've found a couple that I like that are pretty effective. Some of it just goes on your clothing. But there is a lot to choose from in that aspect. And if you're not getting eaten alive by bugs and doing the bug dance on the bank, it's a little bit more enjoyable. And then, yeah, if you're up in the high altitudes and you got these clear skies in the sun, and even down here in the valley, I mean, sunscreen's a must.
Okay.
Just to protect yourself. And then depending on where you're at, dress appropriately, have the right shoes, have the right, clothing so you are comfortable while you're doing it and not rolling your ankles or something in the river.
Any specials going on right now at Sportsman's Warehouse, 1940 Bridgeview Boulevard, that you'd like to comment on this morning?
Oh, we got just the early hunt ad going on right now. If you come and see me and tell me that you heard me on the show, I'm sure I'd give you a deal out down there in the fishing department. We don't have very many things right now on ad in the fishing, but camping, hunting, anything to do with that, from GPSs to sleeping bags to tents to, firearms that are on sale right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm always envious every week when we get you on the program, because I know you're living the dream and doing it well. Someday, I'm going to call you and we're going to go fishing together, and you'll find exactly how bad a fisherman I am, but I hope you'll change my ways and change my luck. Josh Anderson with Sportsman's Warehouse, God bless you, man, and thank you so much for a great report this morning.
Oh, no, I appreciate the time, Zeb, and you have a great afternoon.
I will, sir. Thank you very much. And everything that Josh is talking about, all the equipment, plus a lot of things 1,000 times over, are at Sportsman's Warehouse, 1940 Bridgeview Boulevard in Twin Falls. You stop in and see those great folks today. And they sponsor our show called The Old Fishing Hole. Want to remind you, too, about our friends at Dino Septic Service. Oh, my goodness sakes, they do the job that you and I don't want to do. They do it well. They do it with a smile on their face. And I urge you to call them and let them work for you. Dino Septic Service. And, of course, their numbers are 436-6526 or 678-1638. When I said fast, fair, friendly service, I know, because we use them and they are excellent. They'll pull in the yard with that big truck that says smells cargo on the way. Don't forget Dino's Septic Service. You call them today. Right now, Wheels, I'm going to turn it over to you for a second. Do we have our dear friend Greg Walden on the line?
I am getting him on right now. I've been trying, sir.
All right, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. We're going to have Greg come on the air, because here we are looking at Wednesday already for the Minidoka County Fair and Rodeo, and I know they got a lot of things going on the next couple of days for their 71st annual Minidoka County Fair, with the theme that says making tracks to the Minidoka County Fair. And let's see if Greg's available on that phone call right now. Did we get him? Still trying. Okay. Let's see what else. I want to remind you, real quick, I'll say this, that during the summer months, Deanne and I, we need an extra day every other week, maybe to get some things done and things with the family, etc. And every other week on Thursday, we have made an agreement with our dear friend Sharon to come on the program and take care of it for us. And tomorrow, Sharon will be on the air. At the ranch from 8 to 11, and we certainly look forward to hearing her. Wheels, do we have the man on the phone?
Yes, sir, we do.
Good man, good man. Right now, here's a guy that absolutely loves, without a shadow of doubt, the Minidoka County Fair and Rodeo. Greg Walden, how are you?
Good, Zeb. How are you doing today?
Not too bad. Now, I've got a picture in my mind's eye of you standing next to a food booth warming up for the big Lions barbecue tonight at 5:30.
I'm getting close, Zeb. We're just right in the middle of our pig show this morning. I'm helping them out with that. We've got a couple hours left there, and I'll be done. And you can guarantee you'll find me at a food booth somewhere.
Tell me a little bit about this Lions barbecue. I understand it's going to be at 5:30, and it's all you can eat. And those are scary words.
Yes. But they've got plenty, Zeb. Don't worry. Till 5:30, it's not too late to come get a ticket. I believe you can buy them right there at the dinner. They'll be doing roasted corn, all the fixing. Zeb, you can't pass up a deal like this.
No, and then what's the Fair Board doing as far as having a special social right after you eat the Lions barbecue?
You know what, Zeb? We've got such a great community here. The Fair Board wants to put something back, so we do a Dutch oven cobbler ice cream social after the Lions barbecue, and it's free, Zeb. Can you believe that? Free.
Oh, my goodness, it sounds wonderful. Then also tonight, don't you have the beginning of the Junior Rodeo?
Junior
rodeo kicks off tonight. Come watch these kids around here. We get a lot of the top local kids come out for this junior rodeo. We've grown it so big, Dev, that it's actually Wednesday and Thursday night now.
Oh, my goodness. What are some of the events and what are the age brackets?
Well, Zev, I'm not in front of my list right now. I don't know if you've got it, but I think it starts at, I want to say 8 years old and goes up into high school.
Okay. And that's tonight and tomorrow night, the junior rodeo at the Minidoka County Fair. But then I know you're all set for Friday and Saturday, the Wild West Open Rodeo.
Yes, sir. Friday night's the Man Up Crusade, Zeb. Wear your purple. We're doing a big donation for these folks. They come out and do some stuff for battered women, women's shelters. They've got some stuff I'm sure they're going to sell again this year. Come out and support that on Friday night. We'll be doing the Queens on Friday night. Saturday night, we've got the Grandma Queens up. That is so cool. Do you know any other county around here that does a Grandma Queen?
I don't, but I'm trying to remember, and I think I've got it right here, that the Grandma Queen from last year was Connie Studer. Is that correct?
Yes, it was. One of our top 4-H hands around this county. She's put a lot of time and effort, and it was really great to honor her last year. I'm excited to see who it's going to be this year.
You know, I had a call the other day after you were on the program, and we had briefly touched on the antique tractor pull Saturday at 1 o'clock. You want to elaborate on that a little bit? You're the old tractor man.
You know what, Deb? It's a great time. These guys have restored, got these things popping and running good. They hook them up to a sled and pull them down the track, measure it up, and see who's going to be the winner. Deb, it's impressive what these guys have done to these old tractors. They've got them tuned in. I'm not so sure they don't run a little better now than they did back in the day.
Okay.
That's at 1 o'clock. It's in the race track grandstand, and it'll be going on. Definitely come out. Those guys are a hoot to watch, and just a good time. Good, relaxing afternoon.
Now, in the morning on Saturday this weekend, you've got the 4-H FFA Buyers Livestock Auction. Greg, I want you to really emphasize how important that is for people to attend, people to bid, people to buy for the 4-H and FFA.
Yeah, Zeb, these kids have been working hard all year, and I'll tell you what, I've been walking around these barns. These are some of the best animals we've had in a long, long time. I'm not taking anything away from kids in the past, but I'll tell you what, we got a great group of kids here. And the community, I just want to thank the community and the businesses that have come out in the past, encourage any new businesses. I mean, we'll pack that pavilion underneath there. Just come, 9 o'clock, get your bidder number, get signed up. We'll be in the shade, nice, cool area. We'll start selling at 9 a.m. sharp. About 11:30, we'll have pulled pork lunch. You don't even have to get out of your seat, Zep. The kids are so appreciative. They'll make you a boat, fix you a sandwich, bring it right to you where you sit.
Oh, my goodness. Greg, you have been a real cheerleader for the Minidoka County Fair. You've got an excellent fair board, really nice people. But what makes the personality of the Minidoka County Fair so special?
I'll tell you what, Zeb, it's our community. It's just like a family reunion when you come here. You see people you haven't seen all year. There's plenty of picnic tables, great food booth vendors. You get you something to eat, you sit down, you watch the kids, you visit with folks you haven't seen for a while. It's nothing like you can imagine, Zeb. It's just a good old county fair.
Now, I had a question the other day, too. They wanted to know what time the gates open at the fair each day.
I believe it's 9 o'clock in the morning. A lot of people are here at 6 feeding animals, things like that. I mean, you can come whenever you want, but the buildings themselves, I think, open at 9, and they shut down, I think, at 9 or 10 at night. So just come, take a look. People have put all sorts of stuff in the open class building. There's flowers here. There's beets here. Pictures. You name it, it's here at the fair.
Absolutely, and the theme this year, making tracks to the Minidoka County Fair. It is fair time, it's friendly time, it's a great place to sit and visit with your neighbors. Greg Walden, you are excellent at being a cheerleader, like I said, for the Minidoka County Fair, and we wish you to have a great, great day. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Zeb. Appreciate it. We'll see you on Friday night.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much. The people over at that fair and all the management and everything, I'll tell you what, they're such nice people. And just absolutely the kind of folks you want to sit down with and visit with. And they're your neighbors. All of them are going to be there at the 71st Annual Minidoka County Fair. It's going on right now. Don't miss it. Let's see what else have we got cooking. Had a call, and tomorrow, again, I mentioned that Sharon's going to be running the program for me tomorrow. We alternate every other Thursday. She comes on the show, and she always does an outstanding job. So congratulations and thank you to Sharon Wilmot. She's going to be the guest host for tomorrow morning's program. Thank you very much. Next hour, we are going to be visiting with Dr. James Shank, the superintendent of schools for Cassia County Schools. There has been a lot in the newspaper. There's been a lot talked about. There's going to be probably a lot of questions that need to be answered about the privatization of the maintenance team, if you will, at the Cassia County Schools. And we're going to find out right from Dr. Shank what the changes are and or will be. And so I want to alert everybody, if you have questions and you'd like to call, the number 436-2244 or 1-866-927-4587. That's coming up in just a few moments right here on Zeb at the Ranch. But right now, we're going to turn it back over to our main studios, and Wheels will be right back.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb.
Thank you very much, and welcome back to our next and last half hour on the program this morning. And we have with us Dr. James Shank, Superintendent of Schools with Cassia County School System. Good morning, Dr. Shank. How are you?
Good morning, Jeb. I'm doing well.
Dr. Shank, there's been a lot of stories. There's been a lot of coverage by the media regarding Cassia Schools approving privatized maintenance. Rather than me give some of the parameters and some of the highlights, I'd like you to take us back in your words and tell us exactly what's going on and why is there somewhat of a problem.
Okay. To take you back and get to why, I'm going to just give you a little bit of a preface. Back when I started with the district, which was in July of 2018, there had been, even before my arrival, many discussions about facilities, improvements, upkeep of those facilities, the quality of service that had been received in that upkeep, and what needed to be done in terms of responding to patron wishes and desires, responding to the board on how it is that we can do a great job of facility upkeep and be efficient about it as well. So from July forward, I gave a couple of reports in board meeting. We went through a few months, responded back to more questions. Then, if everyone remembers, back in March, we put a bond forward, a referendum to the public, and the public did not approve that bond. And so there's a compounding need to do a great job with our facilities. And so the discussion continued forward about, okay, well, what can we do? So back to the contracting of services, discussion came about, and then in April, the board voted to direct the administration to seek proposals, and we did that with a company named ABM. And ABM had been in the district prior to July 2018 and given proposals to the board in public meeting, that sort of thing. And so they were somewhat familiar with that. So that's kind of the backstory on that. As far as the specifics about what it is that's been proposed and that the board's accepted that proposal is that they can come in and do maintenance, custodial, and grounds management services for the school district. The proposal proposal is for $3,038,000, and we budget $3,500,000. So they can do this for a less amount of money than we've been able to do, which is important because the school district is at a point where it needs to mind its, every dollar that flows through. We have a very small contingency of only $38,000 right now. And so we're looking at places where it is that we can be efficient. But that's not the whole story. The whole story is that we need an improved management of our overall structure in terms of operations. But that's one of the pieces that we talked about. Another was, is it possible for the district to hire its own operations director? And part of that discussion was, well, sure, but it's going to cost us, a good amount of money in addition to what we already do. Plus, it's another administrator, which isn't always a popular thing with school districts. So that was not talked about for very long. And so the response to that, and I gave a report at board meeting and gave 15 reasons why, we think that ABM can do a good job. And I don't know if you'd like me to go down each one of those 15, but in essence is we have a company that is an expert in the business. They are all over the United States. They have 140,000 employees. They are in the state of Idaho. They oversee over 500 million square feet of K-12 space now. And they can do it at a more efficient type of manner than we can.
Okay.
What's funny about all that is they can also add positions that we're not able to add. So just in terms of efficiency, there's some very attractive things there. We think that the proposal is being responsive. It's being responsive to something that I've heard many, many times from patrons, from people who, just give me feedback that we need to do a better job with upkeep of our facilities. And part of that is we have a superintendent, we have an assistant superintendent, and a business manager who all tried to weigh in on how to do that. But they're also focused on the other aspects of a school district, which is learning, teaching, these sorts of things. And the expertise on how to do great facility management isn't necessarily there. I'm a trained educator. Mrs. Miller is a trained educator, and Mr. James is a trained business manager, but not necessarily a trained expert, either the three of us, in how to best deal with all of the issues that go around facilities. So that's a piece that I think people need to understand. Anyway, I rambled for a bit. Am I answering your question?
You are, and I think you've kind of created a kind of a nucleus of what we want to talk about this morning and explain, and I urge people that have questions to call 436-2244. Dr. Shank, I'm going to be very blunt in some of my questions. Some of these questions may seem a little naive, but if you had an existing force of maintenance people and they were not doing the job, why were they not doing the job with the overseeing of a so-called boss that says this has got to be done, that's got to be done, or was the job not being done?
Well, I think that the answer to that's two or threefold. Sometimes, in order to do a good job, you have to have a sufficient workforce. And something that ABM has told us is that we're understaffed. And so to do a great job in an understaffed environment can be a struggle. The second piece on that is I believe that the differences between custodial, maintenance, and grounds, and trying to have those three entities work together, that sometimes we lose in communications, in situations where it's not fully understood through standard operating procedures, who's responsible for what entity, and then having the sufficient amount of oversight and management to be able to take care of that. So I'm going to give you a for instance. Right now we have principals that oversee custodians, and they do a great job in terms of what it is that they are able to attend to with custodial work in their buildings. I'm not saying that they don't do a good job, but we have night custodians, and so night custodians come in, they do their work, and typically that's done at in a solo type of environment where there isn't necessarily a whole lot of oversight, and so there are things that are struggle. Another piece of that is when we have people that come on, they want to become custodians. They come to work for us, and because we have principals or we have other people doing multiple jobs and unable to focus on that specific type of work, all the time, the ability to train, the expertise, and that oversight is lacking. And so I would say that whole look at it in that type of framework, and when you have somebody that's an expert in that, such as ABM, comes in and does that, that's their one thing that they're focusing on. Whereas, you take a principal or you take somebody else, the one thing that they should be focusing on is student learning. And that's a critical piece of why it is that we exist.
There's been a lot of response in the newspaper stories, et cetera, and concern, if you will, of employees that will be terminated but yet have the option or the availability, the way I understand it, to apply for positions with ABM to continue their employment. Is that correct?
Well, yes, there's going to be a discontinuance of employment with the Cassia County School District. However, in the proposal that we asked for from ABM is we ask that all employees be retained. All employees who choose to want to work with the transition, that's part of what it is that we ask for. We also ask that they be retained at their rate of pay and to create a system of similar benefits. So yes, I've heard that many times that people are going to be, quote, fired or terminated or these sorts of things. And the answer to that is, you're moving from one entity to another. However, what we're wanting is for you to stay in the same position at your same rate of pay. Your employer becomes a different person, but that's really what it is. And the reason that we're trying to do that is so that we can be better at what we do. And that means being more efficient. That means getting better equipment, getting better trained. The whole picture of what it is that a specialized company can do.
Let me ask you this question. As you stated, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the district would save approximately $500,000, $500,000 a year, by having ABM come in with their crew to take care of this work. Does this also, by having them contractually under agreement to serve the Cassia County schools, does this also give Cassia County more power with basically a thumb on what they're doing to make sure the job gets done right?
Right. When you contract, you bring somebody in. There's an agreement that's set forth. We're going to do this. They're going to do that. We still have authority over the contracting body to make sure that we get what it is that we're after. All contracts typically come with a certain number of years within it, but if it doesn't work out, there's always a way to terminate that contract. And of course, that's not necessarily what we want to have happen. What we want to have happen is to have our buildings taken care of at a greater, pace, a greater upkeep.
Now, to the people that may or may not feel slighted over this and are worried about the future, etc., I think you've kind of summed up that there looks to be a very responsible approach to this problem as far as getting it solved. Is there anything that I'm overlooking or that you haven't shared with us?
Well, I think people in general are worried that at least the impacted employees, they're worried about what this means for them. And they're worried about, am I going to have a job in the future? Are my wages going to be cut once the contract is signed or once the contract is put into place, the transition's over, those sorts of things? What type of behaviors will ABM exhibit moving forward? Because, they're telling us that they enjoy their experience where they're at now. And so what you do is you turn to ABM's experience and see if that type of behavior has occurred in the past. And what we've learned in our due diligence is no, that's not what's happened. In fact, we took a team of employees to Napa School District on July 3rd so that they could hear from ABM employees in Napa. And one of the questions that we were very specific to ask was, if all things considered, would you go back to the way it was before? Would you prefer to be a Napa School District employee, or would you prefer to be with ABM? And their answers were, we prefer where it's at, even to the point where one or two employees had said that if they were to return to the way it was before, that they would look for other employment. Well, to me, that's a pretty strong recommendation from current employees from ABM that they're enjoying what it is that they're involved with now. And I think that has to do with some things that ABM can offer that we cannot. And so, for instance, with that, most of the time you have in a school custodial situation, the highest position that you can reach is head custodian. There really isn't much movement above that. ABM offers management positions. They offer other positions that we just don't have. And so there's some upward motion, if you will, in terms of where it is that employees can gear their career towards. We think that's a bonus. We think that's a good thing for them, and that's what we heard. So, I hope that answers the question.
It does, and I was going to ask you, too, in accordance with the Napa School District, et cetera, how widespread is this movement for outside sources to come in and privatize the maintenance department through contractual agreements with other companies? Is this a growing trend, or what's the status on that throughout the state of Idaho?
Well, in the state of Idaho, we would become the fifth school district that is doing this. However, I know have been told that there are school districts that are interested as well. There are needs. I was contacted last week by another school district and said, tell me about how this process works, these sorts of things. So, I think it's individual districts, what it is that their needs are, where it is that they are putting their emphasis.
Okay. We have a caller. I've only got about 4 minutes left in this segment. Caller, go ahead, please, quickly. You're on the air.
Yeah, I know this isn't the majority of your people, but I know of 4 people that have already left, found better jobs, higher paying, still have Percy, and that's really the only place you're really saving that I can see. But, they're doing less hours, they're home on weekends, and some of them have Percy. One guy doesn't have Percy, but he's making so dang much money that he says, I can have my own retirement. I'll live without the Percy.
Respond to the caller, please, Dr. Shank.
First thing, we've had a couple of employees decide to go on. And if it's over this, I can certainly understand that there's a lot of questions, how things will play forward. I would also say that we have 15% turnover every year. So, in terms of will people come and go out of these positions, I think they do with us, and I think they will with ABM. Other things, is there a decreased amount of days that employees will work? The answer to that is yes. That's in the proposal. Some employees most employees will be decreased to 245 days. Some will be retained at the 260. That's part of. My answer to that is, that's not an uncommon thing. There are a lot of school districts that work their custodial crews at 245, and that's kind of the standard that ABM has worked with in the past. The Percy thing keeps coming up over and over. Yes, Percy is a governmental type pension program, and usually when you work for a school district or you work for the police or the fire department, a pension plan will come with that, or a defined benefit. However, we know that most companies across the country are with defined contributions. That's what it is that they offer.
Okay. I've got time for one short phone call, and then I'm out of time. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Quickly.
Hi, Hoss. This is the chief. Hey, I find it somewhat surprising that they have principals over there at Kaiser County that are making 6 figures, and they're supposed to be the leaders of their operation, but they can't seem to be able to run a janitorial crew. And B, I'll just leave it at that.
All right, well, thank you.
I think it's funny that they have to hire a company so they can have experienced managerial people to run these crews. Well, aren't they hiring those people already?
All right, I'll have Dr. Shank respond on the air. Dr. Shank, I'm down to the last minute, so if you could make your answer very short, I'd appreciate it.
I'll be brief. 6 figures, no. That's just not an accurate statement. The second is principals are educational experts. Yes, they do have some management types of things, but our principals are principal teachers. They have leadership and oversight of the learning process. And that's what's most important in our program. Yes, they do manage custodian, and I'm telling you, they do a pretty good job. But we need to do better. And I think that's what it is that our patrons are telling us. And, oh, by the way, the proposal indicates that they can do it more efficiently, hire more people, and save us quite a bit of money.
Dr. James Shank, I want to say how much I appreciate your taking the time to come on the program. I don't mean to be curt and cut this segment off, but I'm out of time, and you're welcome to come back anytime and discuss it further. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
And thank you for the time, Zeb. I appreciate it.
All right, sir. Thank you. Have a good day. Dr. James Shank with the Cassia County School System. Thank you very much. Right now, we've got to get to the weather forecast. I'm almost out of time, and I've got a whole bunch of things to tell you yet. And the weather brought to you by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. And, of course, you can go to their website and check out all the delicious meats from scarrowsmeats.com. And don't forget, call them on the telephone, 324-7657. They've been in business a long time, and I'll tell you, Don Scarrow and his crew, they are the best. All the delicious marinated pork ribs, tri-tips, bratwurst, bacons of different types. Oh, my goodness, you're going to love Scarrows Meats. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Here's a look at your weather as we do hit midweek, and we're going to see some clouds in the area, maybe some thunderstorms by this afternoon. Partly sunny skies is what we're expecting for today. High of 91, winds out of the west right around 5 miles an hour. Tonight we do have a 20% chance of isolated storms, showers, thunderstorms, mostly cloudy skies, low of 62. That could continue for tomorrow with a high of 88, partly cloudy for tomorrow night with a low of 58. By Friday, mostly sunny skies, high of 90, 92 for Saturday, and looks like mid-90s for Sunday. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina, and brought to you by our friend Don Scarrow and the great, great people over at Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Again, that telephone number, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time at Scarrows Meats. Wow. Hey, along with all the other fairs and activities that are going on, I want to remind you that Cassia County Fair and Rodeo is coming up August 10th through the 17th, and they want me to be sure and mention to you about the great big Tracy Byrd concert that's going to be kicking things off on Saturday, August 10th at 8 p.m. right there at the rodeo grounds. Going to be outstanding. I know Tracy Byrd, and he does a tremendous concert. You don't want to miss it, so please remember the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo with their concert guest this year, Tracy Byrd. Contact the Fair Board office or go to the website, www.cassiacountyfair.com. Check out the tickets right now for that August 10th Tracy Byrd concert at the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo. Woo! Has it been a busy morning? And I will tell you again that our dear friend Sharon Wilmot will be coming in tomorrow morning, and she'll be hosting the program. Sharon is never at a loss for subjects, never at a loss for words, and I think you're going to really enjoy her and give her a call and talk to her. She'll be filling in guest hosting for me tomorrow, so thank you very much. Our major sponsor, I want to really give a great big big shout out to because they do such a wonderful job, and that's our Magic Valley. Hold on, caller, I'll be right there. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you with the absolute best of tires, all the sizes, all the tread designs for your cars, pickup, SUVs, horse trailers, boat trailers, you name it. They've got the best for you. And don't forget, too, the best in brake service with highly trained brake technicians and front-end specialists, and they've got also all your shocks and struts and your batteries. I urge you to get in there today and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Trent on Overland in Burley. The best, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Caller, you're on the air. I got a minute left. Go ahead.
Well, you know how Ocasio-Cortez says there's concentration camps down on the border, and she talks about the deplorable conditions in her own district in New York City. Now, this is just hard to believe, but it ain't. In a child care center, something like that, a center where young children are, there were so many dead rats in the attic that the weight caused them to break through the ceiling. And they were so filled with maggots that they broke open when they hit the floor. And this is where children were down there. This is where the children were. And this is what that wild-eyed idiot thinks she's going to tell us how to run our show, huh? She needs to go home like Elijah Cummings and get their own districts squared away.
Absolutely.
So full of you-know-what.
And I can go along and concur with what you said. And like I said earlier this morning, there is a young lady that absolutely is very sharp. Her name is Sherry Murray, and she's planning on having a complete political campaign against AOC to win that seat. And I personally am going to contribute if I can, because I'd love to see her throw Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez out of office. Randy, I'm out of time, buddy, but I do appreciate that. Thank you so much. We got to get out of here. And tomorrow Sharon's going to fill in for me, and we just want to say God bless her and call her and make her feel at home. We'll be back next Monday with more Zeb at the Ranch, where we always say the way things were or the way things ought to be. And, of course, the world needs more cowboys. But we end the program with these 4 words, and they mean a lot to me. In God we trust. God bless you and your family. Have fun at the Minidoka County Fair, and we'll see you Monday at 8:06.